Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to discuss violence in prison camps, federal prison camps. Hello and thank you for tuning into my video series entitled Indicted and Facing Prison. My name is Mark Blatstein, and in 2006, I too was indicted and convicted of a felony, which led me to losing my medical license. For all of us, considering this a life-altering event is a drastic understatement. However, with work, I was able to get my license to practice medicine reinstated. And so my takeaway here is that remember, prison is going to be temporary. Okay, first, violence in camps is very rare and for many reasons, but it can happen. So how do you deal with violence? It's crucial to empower yourself, prioritizing this word respect. Respect is a universal value, especially in prison, because there's very little that you're allowed to own. And it forms the bedrock of positive interactions. Always ask for permission before sitting on someone else's bed or borrowing anything. It's empowering to return all items in the same condition as you receive them and don't owe anybody money. These simple acts can help you create a harmonious and respectful environment for everyone. Consider this. The repercussions of getting into trouble in a satellite or freestanding federal prison camp, satellite camp being it's attached to a higher secure facility, a freestanding federal prison camp stands all by itself, it's very severe. You could face additional charges. Don't use anyone's cell phone. No contraband, no drugs, no alcohol. So you don't want to use anyone's cell phone. You could face, as I said, additional charges. You could be transferred to a higher security facility. You could lose everything you've worked for, all of your earned time credits, all of your good time credits. This outcome is unproductive for everyone because ultimately the primary goal for all of us is to get home as soon as possible. Now, although not frequently, violence can happen. And both of these happened at FCC Tucson, medium security. Remember Derek Chauvin? He was stabbed multiple times. And this is the officer that was convicted for murdering George Floyd. Also, at the same Tucson facility, the minimum security satellite camp this time, a federal inmate, somebody in there was able to get a firearm smuggled into him, and he was trying to attempt to shoot his visitor, but the gun didn't go off. Things just happen, and you need to be responsible for who you surround yourself. People that you'll take on as friends, have good relationships with, and who to stay away from. During your trial or your plea, you may have felt that you're not guilty. It's important for us to remember that there are many innocent people in prison, as well as far too many people incarcerated in the United States. But for those of us who believe, or those of you who believe that you're innocent and are fighting through an appeal or recommending going or thinking about going to trial, I strongly recommend you ask your attorney how many cases have they won at either appeal or at the trial level, because this is very, very important. And if they say they have won at the trial or appeal level, see if you could speak with a couple of those clients, because the Department of Justice has close to a 95 to 98% conviction rate, meaning that the odds of winning here are very low. Speaking from personal experience, I lost my appeal. The judge then, when I came back, when I was in the appeal, I had finished serving my first year and a half. I had to go back again for another year and a half. It was a very difficult experience. If you've realized that while you may believe that you're innocent, there were some aspect or some parts or components of the charges that were indeed accurate, no matter how minor. It's important to focus on what you can influence by sharing this information with your attorney and writing a well-written personal narrative and a release plan. And just forget about the other stuff because it's behind you. If you have not yet prepared a well thought out personal narrative before your pre-sentence interview and sentencing hearing, or if you've not even created a release plan, understand that it's never too late, because these are very important steps. And they are viewed upon by your stakeholders, which is going to be your judge, the prosecutor, Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and the residential reentry managers in halfway house. So it's crucial for the judge and the court because judges know that crimes do not happen in a vacuum. Correction staff and unit teams, they want to know that you've taken responsibility, feel remorse for the victims you've harmed, and can, begin to tell your life story. Failing to do so will leave the Department of Justice with with the success of providing your story to the world through your indictment, which likely has not been in a positive light. It didn't make you feel that good to read your indictment, I'm sure, the first time. Wiser individuals than I have said, using their example, if you think there's life after prison and release, you're going to be right. But if you feel that there's no future after prison and release, you're also going to be right. Henry Ford quoted this out, saying that whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right on both accounts. It's what you think. I never knew this to be true because I couldn't fail. But trust me that when I was in halfway house and then first got out, I took a minimum wage job until I was able to get my medical license reinstated. We all go through this. So if you're in prison and if you're lucky before your pre-sentence interview and sentence, if you had a change of heart regarding your charge, that was the perfect time to take ownership of the crime. What does this mean? It's never too late to regain your soul. What does it mean is that you're able to begin writing a well thought out personal narrative through introspection. Judges understand that crimes do not happen in a vacuum. Judges know that attorneys, you pay the attorney to say good things about you. So their sentencing memorandum, while helpful, does not take the place of your personal narrative. The Department of Justice, the judge knows, wants a conviction, no matter what it takes. And the prosecutor, the judge knows, wants you to have prison time because you are responsible for all the world's sins. Judges aim to comprehend, though, the reasoning behind your actions, meaning that they understand that crimes don't happen in a vacuum. But don't lie on your personal narrative, your release plan, and don't lie to the judge because they are very skilled at detecting falsehoods or BS, which can have negative consequences for you during your discussions with the court. You don't want that to happen. You want the judge to hopefully be your advocate. Remember that judges all across the country have unanimously agreed with interviews that I have on my website that your narrative, release plan, acceptance of responsibility, and demonstration of remorse for the victims you've harmed may significantly influence the scales of justice in your favor. Call me today at 240-888-7778 to engage my services or to have your questions answered. This is my own personal cell, and I answer and return all of my own calls. Hope you have a good day, and thanks for listening.